So the market cap is $2.168 trillion. And now the market, it went to zero.
GM, welcome back to the channel. Market update here, Monday, the 9th of December, 2024. Opening things up, we have Bitcoin down. So at 3 p.m., that is the hourly candle here, 3 p.m., someone absolutely slamming down the price here. A lot of shorts piling in on PEPs, and these were the actual areas of interest for the day, as per Eric Crown's analysis earlier this morning. So it was essentially, if we can break above Sunday's high, which is about 101,400, we are really off to the races for a big mega pump. But below the low posted, I think it was on Sunday, around 98.7, we were going to be exploring the downside here, which looks more likely at this moment in time, but an hour earlier, it looks like we were in the range. So who knows where we'll end up, but it's going to be the daily close that dictates kind of the next moves for BTC here. So back on the daily time frame, there's the levels. You can see currently we are below them. So it looks like people may be potentially going to have a bit of a risk off going into the Christmas break, but we'll see how things play out here. Obviously, it changes on a very frequent basis. We have news of Sailor adding more Bitcoins yet again. So MicroStrategy acquiring 21,500 BTC. So for every seller, there is a buyer and vice versa. And Sailor is scooping up people's coins like crazy. I did watch the Raul Pal, Dan Tapiero podcast over the weekend. Really interesting one as well. You have people on crypto Twitter calling the top for the cycle already and at 104K. And then you have people like Dan Tapiero saying base case 150 to 180K Bitcoin, but that's him saying he's being conservative on purpose. And then Raul Pal saying base case Bitcoin this cycle is around 250K. And we can see Sailor willingly buying a lot of Bitcoins at 100,000. Meanwhile, the Sailor playbook also being rolled out here with Riot announcing yet another private offering. So they're after 500 mil, so $500 million to acquire more BTC. So one of the biggest miners, also a buyer in this market as well. So very interesting stuff. And then this one could be a hell of a story. So you have El Salvador, apparently as per Delta One here, being told maybe by the IMF to scale back their kind of pursuit of BTC and kind of in negotiation, maybe getting a 1.3 billion loan. So within the FT article here, so we know that El Salvador was kind of booted out of the IMF, as it states, after several years of relative isolation following its passage of law in June 2021, making it the world's first country to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender. So El Salvador make Bitcoin legal tender. The IMF don't like this. As per the statement here, the IMF opposed El Salvador's adoption of Bitcoin, citing risks to financial stability and integrity, and has urged President Bukele to stop accepting cryptocurrency as a legal tender. So under the terms of the agreement being finalized with the Washington-based fund, El Salvador would drop a legal requirement for business to accept Bitcoin as payment, making it voluntary only. So they want to change the rules up in El Salvador. But what would be absolutely hilarious is if Nayib Bukele accepts the 1.3 billion and then just starts buying Bitcoin with it as a bit of an FU to the IMF. But we'll see how this one plays out. Also on the corporate scale here, we have Amazon shareholders asking the question, should we add Bitcoin to the company treasury? So this is now going to be a point of contention. And we're going to see potentially the adoptions of nation states, but also big corporates as well for BTC as a treasury asset. So interesting stuff that's been breaking here. The positive news flow occurs as momentum picks up for the market. Now, as per Cato AI's top 20 tokens over the last 24 hours via Mindshare, Bitcoin's number 1, ETH and Sol 2 and 3 respectively. Then in fourth, you have AIXBT, which is on a bit of a nice pullback here. Coinbase, PEPE, Movement Labs, that has just gone live today. Doge, Colt, FARTCOIN, Dog Hype, Bully, AVAX, XRP, USDT, ADA, Magic Eden Token, Base, and USDC. So Dragos was putting out here saying, look, FARTCOIN's still top of Mindshare after dumping down and now seemingly starting to show signs of a major recovery. We can also see via the holder scan data here, when we have like one of the big ticket Sol memes like WIF, over the last day, 217 holders have been added, whereas you have the likes of GOAT adding 1,000. And then for FARTCOIN, 1,170 people have added this to their wallet, which kind of shows you that even though these aren't getting the major listings as yet, they're adding more holders. So I think retail interest broadly is showing you that maybe these kind of tokens are a little bit oversaturated and people are more interested in buying AI tokens now. That's at least what I'm deciphering from this data. If we just go to Coinbase and we check out the lowest denominated tokens, so the cheapest tokens by price, MOG is the cheapest token, second is PEPE, third is SHIB. But as you can see, MOG's like $1.4 billion market cap, doing $14 million of volume. It's up at all-time high territory, as too is PEPE. Just broke out over the weekend. We'll see what happens here, 241 mil. So it does seem that the low unit bias has been paying dividends for these tokens as of yet. When you see in other coins similarly positioned, so MOG, you could post here Popcat. Popcat's been struggling whilst MOG has been mogging. And you have the likes of WIF, which has kind of been a bit pumpy, but then dumpy. And then PEPE is, again, breaking out to new all-time highs. So I think the unit bias is very much real for new retail entering the space. So as mentioned, nice pullback here on AIXBT from like 30 cents. It's done pretty much a 50% retrace here. Now at 16 cents, still peak Mindshare here. AI agents in 2025, probably going to go absolutely ballistic. What other news have we got though? We've got ByBit listing Zerebro. So Zerebro seems to be the first major kind of AI meme meta play that is getting a tier 1 spot listing here. And this was via vote as well. So community have pushed this one through. Listing is on the 11th of December at 8 a.m. So 2 days from now. So that'll be on Wednesday. Interesting stuff. Zerebro is at a good price. I think basically a lot of these are kind of chopping whilst we wait for leg 2 for these coins. These obviously chop huge percentages, but the volatility is part and parcel of crypto. But that's pretty interesting. You then have Sven Heinrich doing some marketing for FARTCOIN here. The Fed, our policy is restrictive. Next Fed meeting is on the 17th to the 18th of December, where we'll probably maybe get another rate cut. FARTCOIN, 204 mil. So he's saying, look, the policy is too loose. You've got tickers like FARTCOIN pumping up. Then update here. FARTCOIN's now at 284 mil market cap. Up 42%, Fed, time for another rate cut. And then again, him posting FARTCOIN as a kind of, this is what's wrong with the macro at the moment. You know, money's too loose. People are pumping these tickers. But I just think this is part and parcel of the FARTCOIN mimetic and overall branding, the fact that it is just funny the higher it goes and people are going to point to this saying this is outrageous. You can see people get butthurt by this as well. But all gas, no brakes. Let it rip. So the FARTCOIN chart on screen for you there, back to 30 cents. I would say the kind of lower bound of this range somewhere around here. We've kind of got in and reclaimed. Maybe we'll come and test this as support. And then your upper bound's around 40 cents. But I think this thing can pump a lot higher with the kind of trajectory of the market more broadly. Then your bit of homework for today. AI is mainstream and it is now filtering through Netflix even with this film Subservience. Great watch. I'll just put this on mute. But Megan Fox, boys, you've got some good homework here because you can you can get to see some eye candy on screen whilst this is probably a film your missus is going to watch anyway, as it's got that guy from some other cringe Netflix films who looks like an Italian model. But this thing is kind of a setup for the psyche of AI is coming. AGI is going to be here in a few years' time. Right, let's try and get AI into the kind of brains of all these people who watch Netflix shows. And so I think this sets things up for 2025. AI and AI agents to go absolutely bananas high. We'll leave things off there. Hopefully the daily can close back inside that range. 98.7 is kind of the lower bound there. We want to try and close within, but we will see. Maybe you'll get some nice discounts over Christmas to shill the family on. Subscribe if you're new. See you in the next one. Peace.